and welcome back to the channel. I'm Tan Nguyen, and today we're delving into a topic that I know resonates with so many of you, the persistent challenge of losing that stubborn belly fat. You might be diligently watching your diet, perhaps you're exercising regularly, yet that visceral fat, the dangerous kind that wraps around your internal organs, just doesn't seem to budge. It's an incredibly common frustration, and one that often leads people to believe they're simply not trying hard enough or that it's an inevitable part of aging. But what if I told you there's a crucial piece of the puzzle many of us are overlooking? The emerging science is pointing us towards an often underestimated powerhouse within our own bodies, our gut microbiome. This complex ecosystem of trillions of bacteria residing in our digestive tract plays a far more significant role in our overall health, and specifically our body composition, than we previously imagined. It's not just about digestion. These microscopic allies are intricately involved in regulating our metabolism, our immune system, and even our mood. And when it comes to fat storage, particularly around the midsection, the health and diversity of our gut bacteria are paramount. Today, we're going to explore precisely how nurturing your gut, specifically by increasing your intake of soluble fiber, can be a game changer in your quest to shed that belly fat. Soluble fiber acts as a prebiotic, feeding the beneficial bacteria in your gut. These bacteria, in turn, produce remarkable compounds called short-chain fatty acids, or SCFAs. These SCFAs are the real heroes in this story, and we'll be looking at exactly how they can help you unlock the secret to a flatter stomach, and more importantly, better metabolic health. So stay tuned as we unpack the science. One of the most profound ways these short-chain fatty acids, produced by our gut bacteria when they feast on soluble fiber, can help us tackle belly fat is by improving our insulin sensitivity. Now, insulin is a crucial hormone. Its primary job is to help shuttle glucose from our bloodstream into our cells, where it can be used for energy. However, when our cells become resistant to insulin, which can happen due to a variety of factors including a poor diet high in processed foods and sugar, our pancreas has to pump out more and more insulin to get the job done. This state, known as insulin resistance, is a major precursor to type 2 diabetes, and significantly, it's strongly linked to increased fat storage, especially visceral fat around the abdomen. What the research is increasingly showing is that SCFAs, particularly butyrate, can play a vital role in making our cells more responsive to insulin. Think of it like this. Insulin is the key, and our cells have locks. When you're insulin resistant, those locks are rusty and stiff. SCFAs help to oil those locks, making it easier for insulin to do its job efficiently. This means your body doesn't need to produce an excessive amount of insulin. When insulin levels are more balanced and your cells are sensitive to its effects, your body is better able to utilize glucose for immediate energy needs rather than shunting it off to be stored as fat. This is a critical step in preventing the accumulation of new fat, particularly in that stubborn abdominal area. Furthermore, improved insulin sensitivity has a cascading positive effect on our overall metabolic health. When your body is efficiently managing blood sugar levels, you're less likely to experience those energy crashes and sugar cravings that can lead to unhealthy food choices. This creates a more stable internal environment, one that is less prone to fat accumulation. The impact of SCFAs on insulin signaling pathways is a complex area of research, but the evidence strongly suggests that by nurturing the gut bacteria that produce these beneficial compounds, we can directly influence how our body handles sugar, and consequently, how it stores fat. It's a powerful connection that underscores the importance of what we feed our microbiome. So the first key takeaway is that a gut rich in SCFA-producing bacteria, thanks to a diet high in soluble fiber, can significantly enhance your body's ability to manage blood sugar. This improved insulin sensitivity means less glucose is converted into fat, particularly the harmful visceral fat that contributes to a larger waistline. It's a fundamental mechanism by which looking after your gut can translate directly into a healthier body composition. It's not just about calories in, calories out. It's about the intricate hormonal ballet that SCFAs help to orchestrate, leading to a body that's more efficient at burning fuel and less inclined to store it. Beyond their remarkable impact on insulin sensitivity, short-chain fatty acids also play a crucial role in regulating our appetite. This is another fascinating way in which our gut microbiome directly influences our ability to manage our weight and, specifically, reduce belly fat. Many of us struggle with feelings of hunger, even when we've recently eaten, or find it difficult to feel truly satisfied after a meal. This can lead to overeating and a surplus of calories, which inevitably contributes to fat storage. SCFAs, however, can help to counteract this by influencing the hormones that control hunger and satiety. Our gut communicates with our brain through various pathways, including the release of specific hormones that signal hunger or fullness. SCFAs have been shown to stimulate the release of peptide YY, PYY, and glucagon-like peptide 1, GLP-1. These are two very important gut hormones that act as satiety signals, essentially telling your brain that you're full and don't need to eat anymore. When levels of PYY and GLP-1 are elevated, you're likely to feel satisfied with smaller portions of food, and the feeling of fullness will last longer between meals. This naturally leads to a reduction in overall calorie intake, without you having to consciously restrict or feel deprived. Imagine being able to navigate your day without those persistent hunger pangs or the urge to constantly snack. By fostering a gut environment that produces ample SCFAs, you are essentially empowering your body's natural appetite control mechanisms. This isn't about willpower, it's about biochemistry. When your gut is sending strong satiety signals to your brain, making healthy food choices becomes significantly easier. This reduction in calorie consumption, driven by genuine feelings of fullness, is a key factor in creating the calorie deficit needed for fat loss, including the visceral fat stored around your organs. Therefore, the soluble fiber you consume doesn't just feed your gut bacteria, it sets off a chain reaction that helps you feel fuller for longer. This enhanced satiety means you're less likely to overconsume calories throughout the day. This effect, combined with improved insulin sensitivity, creates a powerful 1-2 punch against belly fat. You're not only storing less fat due to better glucose management, but you're also naturally inclined to consume fewer calories because your body's appetite regulation system is functioning optimally, all thanks to those incredible compounds produced by your gut microbes. Chapter 3: Cooling the Flames, SCFAs, and Inflammation Reduction. Another critical aspect of how SCFAs, and by extension a healthy gut, can aid in shedding belly fat is their ability to reduce chronic inflammation. Now, inflammation is a natural and essential process. It's our body's response to injury or infection. Acute inflammation is helpful. However, chronic low-grade inflammation is a different beast altogether. This persistent simmering inflammation can be triggered by a number of factors, including a poor diet, stress, lack of sleep, and an imbalanced gut microbiome. Crucially, chronic inflammation is strongly linked to a host of health problems, including obesity and the accumulation of visceral fat. Visceral fat itself is not just a passive storage depot, it's metabolically active and actually produces inflammatory substances called cytokines. This creates a vicious cycle. More visceral fat leads to more inflammation, which in turn can promote further fat storage and make it harder to lose existing fat. It's like trying to put out a fire while someone is continuously adding fuel. SCFAs, particularly butyrate, possess potent anti-inflammatory properties. They work in several ways to dampen this chronic inflammatory response within the body, not just in the gut, but systemically. One of the key mechanisms by which SCFAs reduce inflammation is by strengthening the gut barrier. Our gut lining is designed to be a selective barrier, allowing nutrients in while keeping harmful substances, like undigested food particles and toxins, out. When this barrier becomes compromised, a condition often referred to as leaky gut, these substances can pass into the bloodstream, triggering an immune response and systemic inflammation. SCFAs help to nourish the cells of the gut lining, reinforcing its integrity and preventing this leakage. A stronger gut barrier means less inflammatory triggers entering your system. By reducing overall inflammation, SCFAs help to create a more favorable metabolic environment for fat loss. When your body isn't constantly fighting low-grade inflammation, it can better regulate its metabolic processes, including fat burning and storage. Breaking that cycle of visceral fat promoting inflammation, which then promotes more fat, is key. So by feeding your gut-soluble fiber and boosting SCFA production, you're not just addressing diet and appetite, you're actively working to reduce the underlying inflammation that can make losing belly fat such an uphill battle. This creates a healthier internal milieu, making your body more receptive to your weight loss efforts. Chapter 4: Sparking the Fat Burn, SCFAs and Direct Metabolic Influence. Beyond improving insulin sensitivity, regulating appetite, and reducing inflammation, there's emerging evidence suggesting that short-chain fatty acids may directly influence fat metabolism itself, encouraging our bodies to burn stored fat, including that stubborn visceral fat. This is a particularly exciting area of research, as it points towards a more active role for SCFAs in not just preventing fat storage, but in actively promoting its breakdown. While the precise mechanisms are still being fully elucidated, the indications are very promising. Some studies suggest that SCFAs can influence gene expression related to fat metabolism. This means they might be able to switch on genes that promote fat oxidation, the burning of fat for energy, and switch off genes that promote lipogenesis, the creation and storage of fat. For example, SCFAs may increase the activity of enzymes involved in breaking down fats in the liver and muscle tissue. This is a fundamental shift in how we might view the role of gut bacteria, not just as passive digesters, but as active modulators of our core metabolic processes at a genetic level. Furthermore, there's research exploring how SCFAs might affect the browning of white adipose tissue. We have different types of fat tissue in our bodies. White adipose tissue is the primary storage site for energy, and it's the type that accumulates around our midsection. Brown adipose tissue, on the other hand, is metabolically active and burns calories to produce heat. There's also beige fat, which has characteristics of both. Some evidence indicates that SCFAs could promote the conversion of white fat cells into more metabolically active beige or brown-like fat cells. This would essentially turn some of our fat-storing tissue into fat-burning tissue, a truly remarkable transformation. While more human studies are needed to fully confirm the extent of these direct effects on fat metabolism, the current body of research, largely from animal models and in vitro studies, is compelling. It suggests that a gut microbiome rich in SCFA-producing bacteria is not only creating an environment less conducive to fat storage through mechanisms like improved insulin sensitivity and appetite control, but it might also be directly telling your body to burn more of the fat it already has. This multi-pronged attack on fat, orchestrated by these humble byproducts of fiber fermentation, highlights just how integral gut health is to achieving and maintaining a healthy weight and reducing harmful belly fat. So, as we've explored today, the journey to losing that stubborn belly fat might just begin in your gut. The science is clear. By nurturing your gut microbiome with plenty of soluble fiber, you empower it to produce those incredible short-chain fatty acids. These SCFAs, as we've seen, can improve insulin sensitivity, help regulate your appetite, reduce chronic inflammation, and may even directly encourage your body to burn stored fat. It's a powerful, natural way to support your weight management goals and, crucially, improve your overall metabolic health. I wholeheartedly encourage you to start thinking about how you can incorporate more soluble, fiber-rich foods into your daily meals. Think oats, barley, beans, lentils, apples, citrus fruits, carrots, and psyllium husk. Small, consistent changes can make a significant difference to your gut health and, consequently, to your waistline. Of course, this isn't a magic bullet. A balanced diet, rich in whole foods, combined with regular physical activity and good sleep hygiene, remains the cornerstone of good health and sustainable fat loss. Think of optimizing your gut health as adding a powerful booster to these already essential healthy habits. If you found this information helpful and want to learn more about how to optimize your health, please do give this video a thumbs up. Share it with anyone you think might benefit. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more science-backed tips and insights. I'd also love to hear from you in the comments below. What are some of your favorite high-fiber foods? Or what steps are you taking to improve your gut health? Sharing our experiences can inspire and help us all on our health journeys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.